The National Homebrew Competition is back for 2023. It's great news because we missed a few years. The last one was in February 2020. Due to COVID, blah blah blah, there hasn't been one since. Much like the Welsh, we've all had to take a break from brewing competitions. Welcome to Organisers vlog. If you want to know more about what's going to be happening with the competition, what's been doing in the past week with regard to setting it up and preparing for it, you're in the right place. Stay around and I'll start with the headline news, and then you can watch more if you'd like to know more behind the scenes footage. Okay, so there's all important headlines, what you're going to need to know. It's the National Homebrew Competition, it's back for 2023 and we're staying in Bristol. So the date is going to be the 18th of February. Left-Handed Giant have very kindly offered to host us for the day at their St Philip's tap room. Please note St Philip's, not Finzel's Reach. They've got multiple premises around Bristol. If you're coming, make sure you get the right one. St Philip's tap room. Throughout the day we're going to be judging the beers, so that I'll be putting a shout out for volunteer judges, stewards and staff to help with the competition. If you enter beers or if you just want to come along and see who wins, everyone's welcome to turn up from about 5 to 6 o'clock. Hopefully 6, 7 we'll be doing all the awards and announcements of who won what. Obviously that's dependent on the judges getting through all the beers. Entry requirement, we're looking for 2 bottles of beer. They should be 330 to 500ml bottles, glass or plastic. All identifying marks are removed, so you shouldn't have any old labels or anything left on that can identify you. There shouldn't be any very distinctive bottle caps or presentation. So no 200ml wax top corked bottles or anything like that, which make it entirely obvious whose beer it is. There will be a shipping point available for you for 2 weeks before the event to mail your beers. There is not intended to be a drop-off location available for this competition at this time. That may change later on depending on volunteers and venues. Okay, so that's the main point. I'll be doing much like I've done in the past with the Welsh. When I open entry registration, which I'm expecting will be on the 19th of this month, every brewer will be limited to 1 entry. You can register and enter 1 beer. I'm doing this to allow the most brewers a chance to participate. I would rather 400 brewers participate with 1 beer and everyone get a chance to enter, have their beer judged, get that great feedback from the judges, than 200 people all put a load of beers in. In the past we've had competitions where there was a lot of very disappointed brewers because people were not able to get any entries at all. So a limit of 1 entry, and then a few days later when everyone's had a chance to get an entry if they want one, then I'll increase that limit so you can enter another beer. I just want to make it available to as many brewers as possible to begin with. Okay, that's the headlines out the way. If that's what you are here for, thanks a lot for stopping by and we'll see you next time. If you're here for the vlog, please hang around. We'll chat what's been going on, how it came about, and stuff like that. Cheers. Still early, so I'm on a coffee. Right. So, I was looking to run the Welsh again this year. And I got in touch with Sam, who was part of the organising team for the National after Ali emigrated. And asked him, look, I'm looking to put on the Welsh. When are you planning to run the National? Are you planning to run the National? I just wanted to make sure our dates didn't conflict or clash or anything. And he got back to me after a bit and said, look, the other 2 people involved in organising it and able at the moment to commit to doing anything. And Sam said it was a bit of a big undertaking for him to want to take on. So before I thought about it or had any sense, I just turned around and said, well, would you be happy for me to run it then? And he agreed. So hence I'm now looking after the national instead of the Welsh. I've put a shout out. Someone's come forward interested in running the Welsh, so hopefully you will see that running later next year, as well as the UK National. It's just that the Welsh is a smaller competition and it's easier for a less experienced organiser to pick that up. So that's why I did that, and also because I felt it was important that that top flight UK competition kept running. I'd rather see a UK National run in a year rather than a Welsh. So there we go. That is how it came about. That left me kind of scrambling. Traditionally, well, I say traditionally, we've got an unofficial competition calendar between the organisers, and the slot for the UK National was February. We've not got an awful lot of time, so as soon as Sam said okay, I knew we had to jump on it. Sam immediately came up with some suggestions for a potential venue and said he could contact Bruce and see if he'd be happy to host us. And by that evening, we had agreed a venue and a date and got it booked in their diary. And things started moving very quickly then. After that point, it was a case of worrying about the competition software and website. So we've got a brewing friend who's very kindly hosted the site for years. He's been good as gold, and we're always bunging him free entries if he gets around to brewing. So come on, Graham, get your brew day on. I wanted to migrate it to my server simply because every single competition I run with BCOE and M, which is the software most of the competitions are using in the UK, every update I do, or every time it comes around to run a competition again, I find at least 1, 2 or 3 competition breaking bugs that need to be fixed instantly. If I had, and I mean no disrespect at all to Graham for this, he wasn't being paid for the hosting, it wasn't his job or anything, but if I needed to fix that so we could keep judging beers, keep entering scores, I couldn't wait hours for Graham to get home from work. I needed access to be able to do everything. The easiest way was to move it over to my server. So that meant finding out where the domain name was hosted, getting access to change that, getting the software updated, installed, fixing all the bugs that happened with the install and setting up the competition. A long-winded process. It took a couple of days in total to get sorted, but we got there. The site is up. It's running. It's had some modifications done. I'm going to be changing over to a list of UK homebrew clubs shortly because no one that's entering the UK National is in an American homebrew club. So that list that you get by default with BCOE and M isn't the most useful for us. Right, so we moved on from the website and the venue. They were the two most important things. The venue, because everything hangs off that. Until you know that, then you can't set dates, you don't know budgets, you don't know anything. We got that sorted. The next thing is sponsors. I put a shout out on social media, on Twitter and Facebook, saying that we were opening a call for sponsors. If anyone was happy to help, please get in touch. Because to be perfectly honest, I don't like reaching out to people directly. It makes me uncomfortable and I feel like I'm kind of putting an obligation onto them in some way or making them feel pressure, and I don't like doing that. We very quickly had a reply from Martin Reiki at the Malt Miller, who said, please drop us an email, we love to help the community. And honestly, the malt miller, they look after the UK homebrew community so well. So thank you once again, Malt Miller. They are our main sponsor for this year. I'm not doing any prize announcements yet, but they are the main sponsor for this year. They've also offered to sponsor on behalf of Bathhass. They're one of their small pack homebrew partners. Expect something hoppy in amongst the prizes as well. So thanks again to the Malt Miller for offering to do that. It is much appreciated. Since then, what else has been happening? Well, like I said, I've done some updates on the website. I've started to talking with people to try and arrange some volunteers. We've got a head judge sorted out. That's going to be Sam Tate, who's BJCP national judge. So he'll be a head judge. I've contacted someone about the head steward position. I haven't heard back from them. Facebook Messenger seems to be playing up for me for some reason. I've sent a few messages to people recently and not had any replies. Whether the messages aren't getting through or whether replies are getting lost or not sent, I don't know. So I'll try chasing them up once more, or we'll be looking for a new head steward. The other thing I've done, I've bought a new scanner. What I want to do at this competition is similar to what some of the smaller ones have done. They've actually been scanning the feedback on the day at the competition so that you get your feedback quicker. Now, when I set up the Welsh with Nick, I said that I was only going to do it if we improved the experience for the entrants as well as the volunteers. At the time, none of the major competitions were getting the feedback back to the brewers within 24 hours of judging, and I think we nailed that with the Welsh nearly every time. And it was one of the first times that a major comp of hundreds and hundreds of entries in the UK did that. I want to go one better this year and do what some of the smallers have done. You should, if everything goes well, touch wood, have not just your scores, which you've always had as soon as the results are announced from most competitions, but also your feedback sheets there ready to download. So if there's a volunteer out there willing to help with scanning and sorting all that out on the day, please get in touch. You know where to find me. I've got contact details in the channel doobly-doo for email. Most people know me on Facebook or Twitter or Mastodon or YouTube or in person or email. So that's that. What's next? Right. I put some thought into the prizes. In the past, we've traditionally seen things like equipment, vouchers, and what I thought I'd like to do this time is something that I, as a home brewer, would appreciate. So, as well as a prize from the Malt Miller, we're looking to do a little goodie bag for every gold medal winner. And the other main prizes are going to hopefully be a membership or subscription prize and possibly a training prize. I'm working on that at the moment, so someone can get access to either an online or in-person training course. So there's some reading, some learning, some equipment for doing that sort of thing. And that is, I think, where we're up to at the end of the first week. I'll have another vlog up next week with what's been happening since that first week, if you're interested in keeping up. And I will catch you then. All the best and good luck to everyone who enters and volunteers.
Remember to hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching Daft Cat Brewing.